The new Mega cards are bringing a huge buzz to the hobby, but what makes Mega Pokemon stand out so much? Though before we get into this video, I'm actually gifting a subscriber this Tapu Koko special illustration rare. Now to know if you won, if I reply to your comment with this Jirachi emoji, then well done, this card is getting sent your way. And also, if you are a first time viewer on the channel, welcome aboard. My name's Phil and I cover topics relating to Pokemon's TCG. Definitely feel free to subscribe for consistent Pokemon updates. However, Mega Pokemon have always been one of the most loved gimmicks of the franchise. And in this video, I'm going to be going over some of the Mega Pokemon cards we've seen, along with going over some of the leaks and reveals. And also kind of discuss what makes Mega Pokemon so different. Like if we look back at any other gimmick, nothing has had so much positive fan reception like Mega Evolution, though what actually causes that? Because like Gigantamax, we have hardly anyone screaming for that to return. Most fans are breathing a sigh of relief because Terrestrialize seems to be over. However, with Mega Pokemon, it was never like that. In fact, most fans wanted Mega Pokemon to stay, and it almost seems like it was a golden ticket. I mean, even the previous Mega cards that arguably aren't that exciting have all spiked so much this year alone. A big notable example was the full art PSA 10 Mega Lucario, though I suppose this new Mega generation that's going to be releasing alongside Pokemon Legends EA is very exciting, as it seems fans are getting what they've waited for such a long time. Though I want to go over some of the exciting things for this set and what we can expect. Alright, so like I said, Mega Pokemon are just super hyped. It almost was a thing, and I feel like Mega Pokemon were meant to be a mainstay in the series. It was really weird when Generation came about because we just had Pokemon XY introduce Mega Evolution, and then they actually returned in the Sun and Moon games in the post-game. You could actually unlock Mega Evolution and use it. And then we thought, oh, is it going to stay? And then Pokemon released Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and of course in those games they allowed Mega Evolution to be released again. Though that was the last time we saw Mega Evolution since 2018, and fans have honestly been just knocking on the door begging, hey, when are Megas going to return? Hey, Mega Evolution, we want them to return. And of course, now they are returning in full swing. Of course, with Pokemon Legends EA, we're getting new Mega Evolution, and of course, we're getting a whole new like Mega Evolution era for the TCG. Now, at Worlds, we actually did get some pretty cool reveals for some new Pokemon cards, and I want to go through these today. The first one I want to go through is the new Mega Pokemon cards, or the Mega Attack rares, and this is very classic Mega Pokemon design. So right here in front of me, I have the Mega Charizard EX, and I have both the English version and the Japanese version. Now, what's so cool about Mega Pokemon cards, if you've never collected them before, the English versions of the cards have Japanese characters on the card, as you can see right here, but the Japanese version have English characters. So that's a real cool thing about them, and it's a little bit of a secret that's kind of held for Mega Evolution specifically. I did mention when Mega cards came out, I said that I was a little bit nostalgic a little way. Even though I don't love the characters, I still wanted to see this because it's so reminiscent and it's so tethered to Mega Evolution cards, this design. So seeing that that is returning has actually made me a little bit more excited. Not for the fact of the design, but it is iconic to Mega cards specifically. So it's great that we have a rarity that has that kind of classic Mega design. One thing about these cards when they were revealed, I actually thought that these were for Pokemon Pocket. I don't know, their design just had that real colorful kind of energy, and you know, it just reminded me of them because we do have a new set called Phantasmal Flames that's going to be releasing, which also is going to be quite heavily Mega focused. Now, just a quick note, if you do want to be notified when Phantasmal Flames releases, that does bring me to today's video sponsor, which is PokeNotify. Now, PokeNotify is a paid Discord server that immediately alerts its users when a new set or pre-order is released, and users get notifications. Now, 2025 alone has had some awesome releases, so being on top of this is always great. Now, to ensure PokeNotify works best and for you to get notifications that are relevant to you specifically, it's a real good idea to take the time to set up your notification preferences. This way, you're going to get accurate notifications based on your preferred setup. Throughout 2025, there will likely be a few more restocks entering the market, so this helps you get quick updates for your favorite sets. Now, if you do want to try it out, there is a 3-day free trial available, and if you use my code, you do get 25% off your first month. A big thanks to PokeNotify sponsoring the video along with supporting the channel. Now let's get back into the video. One thing about this, it is very, very likely that we will get a special illustration rare for Mega Dragonite, definitely within the era. We don't know. I think now it's actually interesting because the Legends games have become a little bit of their own lane, and I feel that's making Pokemon kind of split a little bit of a segmentation with the way they release things, because this is a new era we're entering. So traditionally, how Pokemon usually, release sets was you had your generation, and then you would have a whole generation of sets come out for the TCG. When we think of Sword and Shield, we had Generation 8, but we also had Legends Arceus, but we never had like a split kind of new era start for the TCG for Legends Arceus. They're obviously, because Pokemon looks like they're reshifting and almost doing a little bit of a reboot for their games. They have the mainline games, but also they're looking like they're focusing a lot on the Legends games. I wouldn't be surprised right now if we have a generation for a set, but it gets ended a little bit earlier than usual, and then the Legends game get their own expansion for the TCG, which is happening right now. So I imagine in the future, with how popular and how many people love the Legends games, we may get a Generation 10 set that might kind of go on, and then it might end a little bit earlier, and then we might get the new Legends games that come out that maybe, explore Johto or something, and that will give us a new expansion. It seems like that might be the new route Pokemon's taking for their trading cards. But nonetheless, I imagine that we may get a Mega Dragonite special illustration rare. And just a little quick note about those cards. We don't know if they're going to be for Phantasmal Flames. It's kind of just assumed at this point because we know that's releasing in November. But of course, they could be revealed for, a lot of future sets. Maybe one's going to be released for the next set, one for a future set in 2026, and so forth. So we don't actually know where these cards are going to be released just at this point. So even with the Mega Evolution set that's releasing, which is kind of going to be the new base set, that's actually bringing a lot of hype. And I want to kind of go over that because there is a lot of hype building for the new Mega cards. And I spoke about it earlier in the video, but Mega Pokemon did seem like the golden ticket for success. And I don't know if a lot of people agree, but I personally feel Mega Evolution just felt like it should have been a mainstay in the series. It didn't feel like it had to get taken away. For some reason, it just felt like it was a really good, perfect transitional point for Pokemon at that time, because I wouldn't say Pokemon at this point was getting stale, but it did have a feeling of repetition at this point, and I feel like Mega Evolution allowed a lot of third stage Pokemon to get their fourth stage evolutions, and a lot of Pokemon that weren't really competitive were able to get Mega Evolution and then enter the competitive scene again. So it was a really cool feature, and I still think that it probably should have been introduced for more generations. So I'm looking at the Mega Evolution Enhanced Booster Box, and I do feel that this is going to be pretty hyped as well, because this is technically the base set for a generation for this new Mega Evolution kind of era that we're entering. Now, if you didn't know, and I mentioned it in a previous video, and I know a lot of people from Worlds are now coming in to learn more about the Pokemon TCG, if you do know, Enhanced Booster Boxes, what's so unique about them is that they have box toppers. So this booster box that I'm showing you in particular will actually have a promo card at the top of the booster box that you can have, and that promo card is the Bulbasaur illustration rare, which is very likely going to have a Mega Evolution stamp as well on it, just like the Journey Together Enhanced Booster Box had with En's Reshiram. Now, just going on how it usually works, usually you have the box topper which has the stamp, and you can also pull the illustration rare inside the set itself. Though, given how the stamped promos work, usually the ones with the stamped are a little bit more expensive. But in terms of the Mega Pokemon that are coming to the TCG, we do know with the upcoming set, we have the Mega Gardevoir EX, which I do think is an awesome artwork, and a lot of people are going to be hyped for this card in particular. The next one we have is the Mega Venusaur EX Special Illustration Rare, which again is looking awesome. Much as this is seeing like a new era for the TCG, I also feel it's a little bit of a continuation. But what's really interesting about this era in particular is that we still have those storyline illustration rares and special illustration rares that we saw from Scarlet and Violet. So it still feels very Scarlet and Violet inspired, the Mega Evolution kind of new era that we're entering. Maybe that's going to change, as new cards get released. Now, also, another thing about these mega sets and, a lot that are coming out, there also is a new kind of shift or a meta shift happening within Pokemon cards at the moment, because the whole monochromatic cards are becoming a bit popular again for collectors. We had the monochromatic red Victini card, and of course, that's, the prices for that are out of this world. And of course, we had the monochromatic black and white cards from Zekrom and Reshiram as well, and they're very popular. Now, from the Japanese sets Mega Brave and Mega Symphonia, we do have the new gold monochromatic cards, which you had Mega Gardevoir and Mega Lucario. And just looking here, I'm on eBay right now for sold listings. We can see here that the Mega Symphonia Gardevoir, the Mega Gardevoir, the gold one, sold for $430 USD for a raw copy of a card. Now, obviously that may be a little bit of a high price point at the moment, but we can see a bit of a shift also taking place with collectors at the moment with these monochromatic cards. Same thing when we look at the Mega Lucario as well. We can see it sold for $434 US. So this new shift is also happening. I'm not sure if these gold cards are going to be mainstays, and it could be, see, that black bolt and white flare kind of introduced and tested the waters, and now maybe they're going to be a constant theme throughout the Mega Evolution sets. I'm not too sure about that, but we can see changes are happening within the Pokemon TCG at this point with these cards in particular. Though the new Mega set is obviously very hyped, and I believe more collectors are getting excited for what's to come. Though I suppose the future of Pokemon collectibles is becoming a big topic right now, and it makes you wonder what it holds for the next 5 years of the hobby. Well, I answer that in this video right here. Within this video currently appearing on screen, I go over the next 5 years of the Pokemon hobby. If you're interested in that video, click the video that's appearing on screen. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video.